In the Age of Iron and Honor, the Kingdom of Caerwyn thrived under the rule of King Aldred the Just, though celebrated for his wisdom and battlefield conquests. His reign bore a heavy shadow. The absence of a male heir, his beloved Queen Rowena, had given him only one child, a daughter, Princess Elara, but the Queen's final attempt to bear a son claimed her life, leaving the kingdom shaken. The court of Caerwyn was deeply entrenched in tradition, and no woman had ever sat upon its ancient throne. The nobles whispered and schemed in shadowed corridors, convinced that a woman's rule would spell ruin. Yet, defying convention, King Aldred declared before the Great Assembly, "Let it be known across the realm, my daughter, Princess Elara, shall be my heir." His decree was a spark igniting unrest. Noble families grumbled. Their ambitions suddenly kindled. Whispers of rebellion flickered through the high halls of Caerwyn's citadel. The lords of Westerlo, Blackmoor, and Dristan plotted to marry their daughters to the king, hoping to sire a new heir and secure their grip on power. Princess Elara, a fierce and cunning woman of 20 summers, understood the precariousness of her position. Her beauty was matched only by her sharp wit, but even she knew that her father's declaration had placed a target upon her head. Elara's closest ally was her uncle, Prince Edric, the king's younger brother, a seasoned warrior with a silver tongue and an ambition as deep as the Caerwyn Sea. He had once sought the throne himself, but King Aldred's refusal to annul Edric's unhappy marriage thwarted those dreams. His wife, Lady Morgana, had passed away in solitude, unloved and forgotten. One evening, as the winter winds howled through the castle, Elara summoned Edric to the royal garden, where frost clung to the withered roses. "Asterisk, I have made a decision," she said, her voice steady despite the weight of her words. "I will marry you." Edric's dark eyes gleamed with intrigue. "You seek to keep the bloodline pure and secure your claim to the throne," he surmised. "Yes," Elara affirmed. "The nobles will accept a union between us. Our bloodline is strong, and with you at my side, no lord would dare challenge my rule." Edric paced, his cloak trailing across the frozen ground. "It is a bold strategy, yes, but boldness alone does not win wars. It wins kingdoms," she countered. "Do you accept?" A slow smile spread across his face. "I do, but beware. Elara, marriage is but the beginning. The game we play is a dangerous one." Asterisk, as Elara and Edric plotted their union, the noble lords of Caerwyn moved their pieces across the board. Lord Heir of Westerlo, a man of vast wealth and ambition, offered his daughter Isolde to the king. "She is young, fertile, and eager to serve the realm," Heir boasted. Lord Blackmoor, a grizzled veteran, countered with his own daughter, fierce Lady Morin, who had once led a battalion into battle. The king, wearied by grief and the burdens of rule, listened but made no promises. Weeks later, the great hall of Caerwyn buzzed with anticipation. The king had summoned the court for a grand announcement. Nobles adorned in velvet and gold filled the hall, their breath visible in the chill air. King Aldred stood tall, his silver crown gleaming in the torchlight. "I have heard the pleas of my council and the noble houses," he declared. "But the future of Caerwyn shall be secured not by your schemes, but by the unity of my bloodline. Therefore, I announce the betrothal of Princess Elara to Prince Edric." Gasps echoed through the hall. Murmurs of shock and outrage rippled like wildfire. Lord Heron's face darkened. "This is madness," he muttered. But Elara stood resolute beside her father, her gaze unwavering. Edric, ever the master of poise, offered a charming smile, though his eyes gleamed with triumph. The announcement did not quell the unrest, it fueled it. Lords began rallying their bannermen, preparing for a confrontation. Skirmishes broke out along the borders as factions formed. Asterisk, Elara knew that words alone would not secure her place. She rode to the outlying regions, winning the loyalty of the common folk and lesser lords. Her speeches ignited hope among the people, who saw in her a fierce leader willing to fight for the realm's future. Meanwhile, Edric commanded the king's forces, crushing rebellious uprisings with brutal efficiency. His reputation as a formidable commander only grew. As winter tightened its grip on the land, a dark betrayal threatened to unravel their plans. Lord Heron, desperate and cunning, conspired with a foreign power to overthrow the king. He promised Elara's hand to a distant prince in exchange for military support. Elara, ever vigilant, uncovered the plot. With Edric by her side, she led a daring night raid on Harren's stronghold. Swords clashed, and blood stained the snow as the princess fought with a ferocity that earned her the respect of even the hardened soldiers. Harren was captured and brought before the king. "You sought to sell our realm for your greed," King Aldred thundered. "You shall pay the price." The traitor was executed, his house stripped of its titles and lands. With the rebellion quelled, peace returned to Caerwyn. The people held Elara as a hero, and her betrothal to Edric was celebrated with grand festivities. On the day of their wedding, as vows were exchanged beneath the ancient arches of the royal chapel, Elara knew that her gamble had paid off. The bloodline was secured, and the realm, though scarred, stood united. King Aldred, frail but proud, watched his daughter with a sense of fulfillment. "You have proven yourself worthy, my daughter," he said. "The throne is yours." And so, Princess Elara, now Queen Elara, ascended the throne with Edric as her consort. Together, they ruled with wisdom and strength, their love forged not by fate but by a shared ambition to protect their kingdom. In the annals of Caerwyn's history, Queen Elara was remembered not only as the first woman to rule but as a leader who gambled everything for her bloodline and won.